Welcome to week 3. Today's lecture is going to be on the problem identifications and formulation. Then the course outline of this particular session here, we have defining the problem scope and boundaries, the developing clear and concise problem. Then what is problem scope? A problem scope defines the extent and limits of the problem you are addressing. It helps you focus on what aspect of the problem need to be solved and what can be excluded. Example, define problem scope using Python. We know as initially, in the previous lecture, we've have explained a lot of Python, how Python could be used to use in these particular programs to execute your program successfully, because Python, the one advantage of Python here is that it has a lot of the third-party libraries that could be used to, instead of writing the code, you could invoke it and do your program successfully. Then let's consider a business problem. Here we have a business problem, a problem statement here. Let's consider a business problem where we need to increase sales. Defining the scope could involve specifying the product, target market, and the geographic locations. So that is one of the major thing there, because the major thing in terms of marketing, all what you need to do is specify the kind of product that you're going for. Then you target the market and the geographic location. Where is it in a strategic area or in a locality where you could bring up this problem? Then you identify such problem. To solve this, you target the market size. What kind of people are they coming there? What kind of things are they selling? So this is a simple statement, a problem statement. You have been given a list of numbers. Your task is to what, to find and print that particular things that we've specified, the problem that we've specified, that involves specifying the product, target market, and geographic locations. One thing that you need to do here, the scope, that is the boundary of which that particular product is to be solved. The first thing you need to do here, you will receive a list of numbers as input. The input is look at the list of those, the number of things that you intend to actually want to sell. You release the list, then you impute it. Then the second one is that you need to want to find and display the maximum and minimum numbers in the list. You should handle empty list by displaying an appropriate message. So the input list code can contain both positive and negative numbers. Then the input list can also contain the duplicate and the maximum and the minimum value. Then now the first thing, using this particular platform, you need to define the maximum and minimum of the numbers. If not numbers, then you print the list is empty. For example, if actually that you're looking for a maximum and minimum numbers, and eventually there is not any other number that can be contained in that particular thing, you now prompt the program to print the empty. There are no maximum or minimum values returned. Or in case of the maximum, if the maximum number, that is a greater number that you have based on what you've specified, or the product and the market size, and also the geographical locations, then you could print the maximum product, either the target or the geographical location that you actually identify. Then the minimum, the same thing applicable to the minimum. Then you print the maximum value, which is 15, the maximum, and then print F, the minimum value is minimum. So input list, for example, let's use this list. We have 4, 2, 9, -3, 5, 9, and -1. Because as I've said earlier, I've discussed that you see these numbers has to come with both positive and negative number. Then you find the maximum and minimum. Then you impute what the list. Now, what is a problem statement? A problem statement is a concise description of the problem that needs to be solved. It should be clear, specific, and free from ambiguity. Every problem, just like in algorithm that we studied in in our 100 level, in first semester, we knew that algorithm is a step-by-step procedure to a solutions, which this ambiguity is one of the major uh, features or attribute that could be in algorithm, because an algorithm has to be finite, and it leads to just a single word number, a single solutions. It must be finite in the sense that it must have the start and the end point. And ambiguity should not be there because it cannot lead to two solutions or three. The solution has to be clear. For example, formulating a clear problem statement using Python. Then let's formulate a problem statement for software development projects. Creating a Python script that generates a random number between 1 and 10 and asks the users to guess the number. The program should provide feedback on whether the guess is correct, too high, or too low. The user should have a limited number of attempts to guess the correct number. Now, the first thing that you need to do, once if you're in the Python environment, you need to import this particular thing. You need to import this particular, you import it and you generate random number. You import the random. This random could be the positive number and negative number. Then you generate a random number between 1 and 10, for instance. Then the secret number, the random number from 1 to 10. Then now you set the maximum number of attempts. The maximum attempt is what is equal to 0. You print welcome to the number guessing, because this number is just like a guessing game. They welcome to the number guessing game. Then you print F. I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 10. You have a maximum attempt. So for example, attempt. So for example, when you have, if you think of a number from between 1 and 10, then you think of the number, it can either be negative or positive. But between 1 and 10, between 1 and 10, we have, we have other numbers. We have 1 itself. We have, 2, 3, up to. Then attempt equals to what? 0. Then if while the attempt is less than the maximum, then attempt, you try, guess, equal to int, which is the integer, because the reason why being int, if you declare your variable, this variable here should be int because is from, we know integer is an integer is either a positive or negative whole number. So you now input the guess number, then accept value error. You print invalid input, you print enter a valid number, you continue. If girls is equal to secret number, you print F. Congratulations, you guess the correct number, which is, it breaks. Elif guess less than the secret number, you print too low. So then you try again. Else you print too high, you try again. An attempt plus equal to 1. That you set this parameter to, from the initial, that this is where the set you should do it. We do it whether it is when the guessing is correct, either it can print too high or too low, or the user should have a limited number of attempts to guess the correct number. Then if attempt is equal to the maximum attempt, then you print sorry, you have run out of attempts. The correct number was secret. Then the importance of clear problem statements. There's so many importance of this problem statement. Once if you know the importance of a problem statement, then the first thing that you need to do, you clear the problem statement, set the directions for a problem solving effort. Then they help team members understand the problem nature and its significance. For example, when you have a group project, there are two partake, then every other member, because in a group project there must be a brainstorming. Every person in a session, in brainstorming session, like in a group of 5 persons, you are partaking on a particular project that you need to come up with something good at the end of it. All what you need to do, you sit down, you give every person responsibility, and there must be a leader on that particular group that could be upon being the person that can lead, then assign a responsibility to each person on that group so that you can be able to come up with something. You understand the problem. This person will be that is one in a session, in a brainstorming session. Every other person, every member's opinion is respected. Then you come up with a holistic approach altogether. In conclusion, defining the problem scope and formulating clear problem statement are essential steps in problem solving process. Thank you for listening.